So Samsung promised the S26 Ultra would have the best display on the market, but two of those upgrades now have a serious problem, and one of them might actually make the phone worse. Now, before you buy it, let's get into it. So, here's what actually happened. Months before launch, leaks were everywhere saying the S26 Ultra would finally get a true 10-bit display panel. And Samsung didn't deny it. In fact, they doubled down. Samsung briefed the media and told them directly, this is a real 10-bit display. Now that's a big deal. A true 10-bit display can show over 1 billion colors compared to the S25 Ultra, which only displays about 16.7 million. So when creators saw early demo units, the display genuinely looked better. Colors looked richer, gradients looked smoother, and naturally, everyone reported the same thing.
This is the first time on a Samsung phone that we're getting a proper 10-bit panel.
S26 Ultra for the first time supports 10-bit color processing, so it should be able to display more precise.
S26 models now get the upgraded 10-bit display.
Except it didn't. Samsung has now officially confirmed the S26 Ultra is still using an 8-bit panel. What they're actually doing is something called frame rate control. The display rapidly flickers between two color values, so your eyes blend them together. Your brain thinks it's seeing more colors than the panel can actually produce. It's basically a software trick to hide hardware limitations. And next to a real 10-bit display, the difference is noticeable. And here's the part that's awkward for Samsung. Apple has had true 10-bit displays since the 2020's iPhone 12 Pro. Google's Pixel 7 Pro from 2022 has it. Even Chinese brands ship real 10-bit panels in their flagships. Samsung is now the only major flagship brand without native 10-bit color on its top phone. And the most ironic part, Samsung Display actually makes those 10-bit panels for its competitors, but they won't put them in their own $1,300 Ultra phone. That's rough. Now you might be thinking, okay, but if FRC still delivers 10-bit color visually, isn't that still an upgrade? Well, that's not the whole story. Because the bigger display feature Samsung has been promoting has an even bigger problem. On-paper privacy display is actually really impressive. Turn on privacy mode and the wide-angle pixels shut off. Anyone looking at your phone from the side basically sees nothing. And honestly, it's one of the most interesting display ideas we've seen in years. But there's a problem you can't ignore. When you actually turn it on, the display quality drops a lot more than expected. Brightness takes a hit. Colors look washed out, and it's not subtle either. You notice it immediately, so naturally you'd think, fine, I'll only turn it on to protect sensitive parts. But that's where things get interesting. Even with privacy mode completely turned off, the S26 Ultra still has display issues compared to the S25 Ultra. And this is why. The privacy layer isn't a software trick. It's physically built into the display panel. Those directional pixels are always there. You can disable the feature, but you can't remove the hardware. And because those pixels are extremely angle sensitive, even small shifts, slightly tilting your phone, moving your eyes up or down, can affect how much light reaches you. Early testing already shows the S26 Ultra measuring dimmer than the S25 Ultra in real-world use even with the privacy display completely turned off. Which means even if you don't use the feature, it still affects the display you look at every single day. So now both of the display upgrades come with serious concerns. And it's already starting to hurt Samsung. Just days ago, the company reached a $1 trillion market cap, the first South Korean company ever to hit that milestone. But within days of the S26 launch, Samsung lost $110 billion in market value almost overnight. And when your flagship feature doesn't deliver, people and investors notice. Anyway, if you're into the Z Fold 8, click right here to check out the first look. This is TechTix, and I'll see you there.